So, what exactly is a hoverfly?
So a hoverfly is a fly, but it looks like a bee. So unlike bees, which have four wings, flies are going to only have two wings. And these hoverflies, they eat nectar and pollen, so they visit flowers. And because they visit flowers, they can act as pollinators.
And is that why they are important for agricultural producers?
Yes, yeah. And in our region as well, they're actually the most common visitors to our crops, to canola crops specifically.
So, are they doing exactly the same thing as a bee or other pollinators would do? More or
Similar,
less?
yeah, more or less.
So, what did your research focus on specifically?
My research focused on how they move in and out of crop fields.
Now, from the simplest point of view, many of us aren't that familiar with how these all things work. So,
Of course.
why are pollinators important to crops like this? What do they actually do?
They can help increase the crop yield. So although canola, it's predominantly wind pollinated, it does benefit from animal pollination as well.
So, what's going on with the hoverflies? Where did you go to find them? Are they all over the canola, or what's going on?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy when you go out into the crops. You'll just see them kind of buzzing around because they do also will make some like buzzing noises like a bee as well. And they'll be fluttering around and they'll be trying to visit the flowers.
And so, do bees not do canola? Is it all about the hoverflies?
In our region, it is mostly hoverflies. So along with this study, we were also doing netting on the canola plants. So we were catching insects that were visiting canola plants.
Right.
And we found that by far the most dominant insect visiting those crops were hoverflies. Unless there were honeybee hives around. If there's a honeybee hive, the honeybees visited canola more.
Yeah.
But out of all the native bees, so things like bumblebees,
Right.
Hoverflies were visiting the canola most frequently.
What do you think the most important finding from your research was?
That treed borders seem to be really important for hoverflies and really important for keeping them in the crops. So we saw a ton of hoverflies moving out of treed borders, but not a ton of hoverflies moving into the treed borders.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
And why is that?
We think what's happening is that in the treed borders, we're mainly getting essentially pregnant or gravid females coming into the borders. They lay their eggs, and then the eggs hatch, and then we see all these hoverflies moving out of the borders.
I see.
So the treed borders seem to be really good habitat for the young, for the larvae of the hoverflies.
So that's obviously something for canola producers to know
Yes.
and be aware of.